Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Quiver Podcast, where we remember the good old days when Enyo wasn't a team to worry about. So, welcome, guys. And today we'll be tackling the Lady Spikers' opening day loss to the defending champions and New Bulldogs. And to do that today, I'm Kiko. Gio, say hi.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hi everyone.
Okay, guys. This game, NU beat LaSalle 3 sets, straight sets, something not really not used to coming from LaSalle. 25-23, 25-21, 25-18. Before we go into the game and everything, Gio, and we came out from last season finishing third. They make the finals with UST. Now we're playing our first game as the defending champions. Do you think this game came too early for us, or or in more of the mindset now? Let's get this out of the way.
Um, for me, it's really one of those. Let's get this out of the way. I think that NU has built such a great program over the last few years, and I think I think that playing them immediately in the first round will allow us to build momentum towards eventually meeting them again towards the second round. I think that's really important for us because if in the game obviously Angel struggled a little bit. Shavana Laput played very well, and like it's a good first game for us. And parang alam mo yun, the season really starts next week for us. The next game for us. It's a bad omen for a LaSalle team that's how we're thinking about it. But I think we just need to acknowledge that really NU is a very very good team now.
How about you, Brian? Could we come from that school of thought that's saying maybe we'll have a better shot if we got into our groove more, played some of the team because we know we can handle the other teams. And usually the team that stands out in this field, especially this year, could have built up among these other teams, get momentum, get to know each other player, get the rookies more exposed, better experience, then play NU and probably have a shot to beat them. What's your take? Do you think we played them too early this year?
Uh, we played them at the right time siguro. Kasi I'm thinking that I think like what I said in the preview, even if we play them anytime in the first round, this is a team that has set a target na rin sa team natin eh. It's clear with the way they played kanina. They really know how to play against Lasal. And it's a good time nga for us to work on our flaws. It can only get better from here. Uh, you'll face teams that are probably in closer to you than NU at least at this point, and then from there you build it up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So before we go into the game, guys, just want to remind everyone who's listening, and thank you for listening, guys, to subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, Ibarra Manila will be giving away an Ibarra Trofeo Green Watch, but also check out their Ibarra Trofeo White version available at the DLSU alumni office. It's a great looking watch, guys. Great looking watch to go um, to complete your game day outfit this season. All right, guys, to the game. What Gio? Those first two sets, we were able to hang in there. We even came back from 4 points in that first set. Second set, we hang in there, but eventually NU was proved too much. What did you like from that first set? What did you not? What did you not like from that first set? First two sets.
I think it's still a lot of the fighting spirit. I suppose that I'll talk. I mean, we joke around a lot that we're not really volleyball analysts, but for what it's worth, like the fighting spirit of the team to come in and try to upset NU or try to and go toe to toe with them obviously shows that kaya naman natin eh. And maybe if we get into a better groove of things, maybe if we get more form throughout the season, we might have a shot. We might have a very solid shot at beating them. Um, but I like that fighting spirit during the first two sets. And but for what it's worth, I also think that there's still a lot of adjustments that need to be made for us to really achieve things. Now, what worries me, or I don't know if it really worries me right now on that note, is that we played very well in the first two sets, and then suddenly in the third set medyo nakalatahin na malupit doon. But
Mm.
that being said though, I still think that there are a couple of players who did not show up. Maybe Jane Sereno did not show up. Jillian Santos, who was coming from the US, also did not play this game. So maybe there's a lot more to come pa.
To be clear, nandun siya, di ba? She just did not.
Parang andun yata.
Nandun naman, hindi man parang, ay malakad ako, di ba? To be clear, nandun siya. Yeah. She was on the bench. Okay. It was really coach's choice not to play her. Yeah. Brian, when it came, one of the questions you were asking going to the previous and looking back at last season was setting might be an issue, but it wasn't so much of an issue today. Actually, hang in there with NU. I think their quality just showed. If you look at the statistics, we only committed less errors than NU, 18 compared to 22 in this game. So, but I think one of the glaring revelations during this game was really how light we are in the middle. We have three middles, diba? Line of the AC, Ordiales, Provido, Del Castillo. And I think NU really exposed that more than LaSalle committing errors this game, and that's still having the third set. I think NU really showed their quality, outscoring us in the third set. What can you say about is that a sign of weakness, a sign of worry for the Lady Spikers this season, being that open in the middle and having that not as deep as we usually are in that position?
I would frame it two ways. It is a worry if we really want to win the title. Kasi obviously, if we want to win the title, you have to face this NU team at some point. Sobrang swerte if for some reason maiwasan mo sila not even in the final four or not in the finals. So that in itself is worrisome. But looking at first game of the season, knowing that we still have two good middle blockers there kahit sabihin natin na wala tayong masyadong personnel in that department. If those two players we have will step up and be given opportunities, then they can grow and maybe even the third person, si Ordiales, who we didn't see in the game. If he can also make her chances count, diba? In some games when she will be given opportunities. Then, yeah, the worry is if hindi sila mag-grow into their roles this season. The NU game is a harsh measuring stick kasi first game and then champions agad. So, can't really say much. But, yeah, at least if we're just gonna root now and sa long-term chances natin, ang masasabi na lang natin is buti hindi pa finals bukas or sa next week. Parang ganun.
UAP, it's always peaking at the right time, diba? That's the key to the game. And Brian, during the third set, and even when we were losing it a bit in the second set, was really Coach was saying everyone was losing, not sticking to the system, making their own individual decisions in place, not playing with what he was instructing them to do. Was that a sign of really the team inexperience still gelling? And could you see that on the court side in the third set?
Yes, I think it showed. May time na fino-focus na lang si Coach Ramel towards the latter part of the third set na nakahindi na lang siya. I guess that's helplessness in that regard. But yun nga, if you look at this team, you can see the core from the championship team of season 85. Pero ang dami ring new additions na still finding their rhythm with the core players. So, for example, si Provido wasn't a fixture sa starting list nung nag-champion. Si Angel, obviously, she was a rookie then, but now she has to lead the team. Then Soreño is not in the game kanina, so that part is also missing. The middle blockers, si Lilay, like what Vic said sa GC natin, she's forced to really mature as quickly as possible kasi ang laki ng papalitan niyang shoes in Thea Gagate, diba? So, yeah, ang dami pang gaps in our team that need to be filled in order to really say na we have a championship caliber team. Not to say na hindi naman kaya mag-champion. Of course, given a chance, there could be. But still a way off pa.
It's so hard to judge really this first game we were playing against NU, and it's a well-oiled machine, diba? It's so hard to see, but maybe we'll get a better gauge of what this team stands as the season goes along. And looking at individual performances, Gio, Shavina Lapot really led the way for us today.
Yeah.
18 points from her, leading the attack. She was really the biggest threat. Surprisingly, and you found a way to contain Angel. What do you talk about that? The dynamics for Shavina, then why I think Angel was ineffective in today's game.
Also, I think for Shavana, like no, she played really well. I thought that I think it was one of those cases na parang we talk about this a lot during the men's basketball season na sige, if someone's gonna kill us, let Shavana kill us, let's not let Angel kill us. And
Mm.
it's not a hit against Shavana or anything. It's just that maybe that was a strategy and you wanted, and they really targeted Angel Canino. On the other
That's why Shavana was getting her attacks
point,
to go earlier, diba? Oo nga.
yeah. But LaSalle's play has always been around multiple players stepping up. Eh. If there's one person who is leading the charge, historically we never really do well. So it's really down to everyone else to really step up.
Or there's still some variety eh. We'd always have some go-to players, but they would still mix it up them.
Exactly.
Mm.
So parang like yeah, Aragalang was doing well. But you also had Mika Reyes. You also had I'm forgetting their names right now. The older players, diba? Si Chiang, si Abby Maranyo, diba?
Mm.
All of them would contribute sabay-sabay, si Demesilio, etc., etc., etc. But if one player is exceedingly doing well, it's usually a bad sign for us. And you know what? Before, in the same way that we said na, o sige, let Eliza Valdez score 30 points for Ateneo. As long as we hold everyone back, we're probably gonna win. And that's how I feel about this game. But I just need to say that maybe again it's the first game back. Eh. And remember, Angel came off some weird injury last year, so she's still really trying to like feel her way back in. So we got to be a little bit patient. So I'm still on the camp that I'm so glad the NU game is over with because we could go 6-1 at the end of this round, or maybe after watching Adamson and FEU 5-2 or something like that. But
Mm.
that said, right, like it's okay. Like at least Shavana's there. Pick another player to step up next game and pick a third player to step up the following game. We'll be fine.
Brian, what we've seen from the volleyball program of LaSalle all these years is really strength in depth. You should have a strong first six, but you can go 2, 3, a bit 4 deeper than that. With Shavana really stepping up, maybe Angel there, Amy also, the usual suspects. Do you think we have enough, or do you think depth will be an issue for us this year? Something we're not used to seeing from the Lady Spikers.
It can be an issue. Kasi syempre, yung usage rate ng players na sinabi mo, it's high. So, a high usage rate means better scouting from the opponents. Alam na nila yung patterns and yung mga flaws and yung strengths. So, we really need help from the bench. Kahit hindi naman sila maging starter in their own right, but whenever they're called upon, they have to deliver. Kasi they also have to relieve the pressure from those players you mentioned na hindi pwedeng aasa lang kay Lapot or kay Kanino. Diba? Parang that would be unfair for the two of them. They can perform, but obviously to put the burden on just the two of them long term, it's not something that the Lady Spikers teams of old are built on, like what G already said kanina.
And we really always have our net defense is always something we've been one of our strengths. And really, and you cut us apart earlier. And
Pinaliktad.
binaliktad eh. It's the reversal of roles eh. Diba? It's something we're not used to. I think it's something to see another dimension of what Ramil has up his sleeve, knowing he doesn't have the usual pieces his usual championship pieces, diba? That he usually has his team show. This team is not built that same way. So we'll see how Ramil can, what Mika said during when we suggested on the shows, like he knows how to adjust based on what he has. He knows how to listen. So that's something he might need to do this year. Something we need to manage and see how we, navigate what we can have in the current lineup. And you know what? We're still a very good team, Gio. I think it's really tough facing NU in that opening game. But do you think, seeing the opening games of the season with other teams, are you concerned that LaSalle won't be a contender? Because I think still we still have enough to get over the USTs, FEUs.
No, I'm not concerned at all. I still think that we have more than enough to go in and potentially make the finals and even give NU a run for its money. If you see the the first two sets at least, right? So nothing to worry about. Like there have been so many seasons in the past where we lost the first game and ended up as a champion, and there's really nothing to worry about for me. And ang dami nangyari sa program natin eh. So
Mm.
give it some time and we'll probably have a better assessment but at the end of the first round. But look at the preseason. We did really well. Angels back. We have some good recruits. It's the first game. We go up against the defending champion and quite frankly the runaway favorite for this season.
Mhm.
Diba? So the season's
I think yeah, LaSalle fans weren't expecting a win. I just want we always want to go out there and try to we have a winning shot, but we weren't. I don't think LaSalle fans were expecting a win today, really, to
Yeah.
against it. Having a tough opening assignment. Interesting note, Brian, from the game earlier. Bella Belen, last year's MVP, led the way for NU. No surprise there, but we were trying to target her with our attacks earlier. I think that helped us keep pace in that first and second round, keeping her busy on the defensive end.
Yeah, but parang unfortunately for us, ang dami rin nagsa-step up for NU. You see the
Yes,
likes
yun nga eh.
of you see the likes of Pangilinan, I think Mata, of course Solomon. I think Solomon's quite underrated in a sense that the expectations are on Belen to perform really well. Tapos parang siya lang yung second fiddle. Pero alam naman natin that Solomon is a powerful player in her own right. So parang whenever they say Belen, parang dapat i-attach mo din si Solomon right after para hindi siya makalimutan.
Mhm.
Kasi it's a 1-2 punch that's been troubling us, and then also Alinsug is also a good player that always delivers, especially against us. So parang
I think these were the conversations yung mga other teams were having about us years back. Diba?
yeah,
It's just,
exactly.
the roles are now reversed. Yeah. Kinopy yung template natin.
At least against NU, and let's see about
Oo.
the other teams. If hopefully not, but time will tell.
And going back to Gio, do you think it's really a sign that NU's been a consistent past 5, 6 years, 7 years now up there? It's really we were useless. We were hoping used to having LaSalle being that dominant force, right? And now it's really a sign of a landscape change where it's really hard for LaSalle to dominate UAP like they once did.
I think the landscape changes is a constant. Like for what it's worth, we've had different rivals across the years in the league. It started with the USTs, FEUs, back to USTs, then Ateneo, then back to UST again for a while. So
Then we have the NU now. Yep.
yeah, the venue now, diba? So that's the only constant thing in my book, and for what it's worth, right? But that being said, maybe we're in the wrong end of the stick for the first time in a while. But that's too soon. That's too soon to discuss because last year I still maintain that if Angel had been healthy, we'd probably have made the finals. I still maintain that. So
Agree.
parang 2 years for a program like LaSalle to be I mean quote unquote struggling na we're not
By LaSalle standards. That's the standards eh.
Oo, taas ang standards. So, may time pa naman eh. It's not like nag-fifth place tayo ng tuloy-tuloy like one of the LaSalle teams or hindi, it's not like nag-8th place tayo ng Ateneo, di ba? So, it's still a long way to go. It's still a long way to go.
Yeah, and it's really credit to how NU built their program. It's
Yeah.
really, I don't know, we have to call a spade, diba? I think they built their program, Coach Sherwin as well, their experienced head running things. Is that how you see it, Brian? Or yeah, go ahead, Gio.
I have a lot of respect for the NU program. As in, I have nothing bad to say about them except maybe that they trained COVID. But that's not even too much, guys. Like it's like, di ba, alam mo yun na parang within the boundaries, within whatever you can do, kung pwede ka mag-training. I mean, sina Aljun dati were training on their own, right? Not as a team. Pero may
Or
isang
mag-farming ka. During pwede rin yun. As a Sorsogon, pwede rin.
nag-source ko gun, tapos di mo punta sa atin. So, kind of weird. But, again, within the rules is the important conversation there.
How about you, Brian?
Well, we had a bit of a drought championships wise sa previous ones. I think there was one mga late 2010s, and then you had the 2 years that Ateneo won as well. So parang the 2 years now, if let's say hypothetically hindi mag-champion yun as well in 87, it's not so bad. It's like, I mean, we've seen it before. But I think the standards would demand a finals appearance, or at least a strong final for performance if hindi umabot ulit sa finals. We still have pieces to build on in the future. But yun, we will see how the players we have progress and how the system flourishes, kasi I think that's what the fans would really focus on, rather than, let's say, championship or nothing. Of course, the standards are high, but it's also the style of play. Kasi minsan kahit nananalo, alam mo yun, in non-convincing fashion, syempre, there will be question marks. So, I think the loss today was more of talo ka, but you fought, and it was against a really solid team. So you really have to just do well in the other games, because that's where you will bounce back, and that's where you will help get yourself to the number 2 seed, at least. I mean, kung yun yung sinasabi natin runaway favorites yung NU, then maybe the fight now is for the six to seven teams to get that number 2 spot.
I think that's the pathway, looking to this season. I know we're playing hindi man tayo playing doomsayer na this early, but it's really, that might be the realistic path. Get that second slot twice to beat, make it to the finals, and somehow find a way to,
well,
pull a fast one on the NU.
It's hypothetical kasi I think if mag-sweep NU, wala tayong twice to beat, but at least we're number 2.
Yeah.
That's
I can't keep track of the rule changes, but I think so. Yeah.
Exactly.
Over that one. So hopefully maybe we can, beat NU in the second round, if that's the case. Place him at the end, facing the end of the elimination round there. So let's see if the Lady Spikers, Angel Canino and company can bounce back. Next game is on Saturday, February 22nd against Adamson. Then another tough one against Final Four contender UST. So let's see how. I think we're pretty confident that the Lady Spikers have enough to bounce back. It's really a tough opening assignment, but I think we have more than enough to handle Adamson and the rest of the contenders this season. Okay, guys, before we go on to our Derek Chuan hot take of the game, first, I thank our podcast sponsors. First, Blue Fire LPG, the only blue that's right for you. For all your canteen, cafeteria, office, or company needs, Blue Fire LPG, contact them on social media. And Sabi Skincare. Always want your best look during games. Make sure to have Sabi Skincare for younger, rejuvenated skin. Okay, guys. We touched on this earlier, how UAP loves to change their rules and everything. I think, and last week there was an announcement where they had there will be a best foreign student athlete award, and this cuts across all sports, basketball, volleyball, or have you. So that means, in fact, with that rule in effect, the days of foreign student athletes winning the MVPs are gone and are out the window. With so many foreign student athletes now in basketball, you see in volleyball and other sports, diba? Football. Do you guys agree with this rule to, separate foreign student athletes from an awards category? So that'll be our Derechuhan Blue Fire hot take topic of the day. All right, Gio first. Do you agree with this new rule from the UAP?
It depends called the Ding Marcelo for best foreign athlete. Although it's a tough question to ask for me. Like I think I've always been on the fence here on both sides. Why? I think I think that the problem with the UAAP fundamentally, for me, is that the MVP is chosen based on the statistical points, and most
Yes.
of the foreign players tend to be big men. And because you're big men, you get more rebounds, you get more blocks, and you probably
More
get to score.
stats.
You get easy
I
stats.
don't. Who was the last guard MVP in the UAP? If I remember,
Might have been
in basketball at least, could be
Kiefer, might have
said.
been Kiefer,
Might have been Kiefer nga.
might have been Kiefer.
Maybe.
Yeah. So alam mo yun, like I think that's the more fundamental issue to me. Na if you determine the MVP based on statistics, then in all just probabilities, probably the foreign student athlete is gonna take it home, right? Or in our case, like a big guy like Kevin Kiambao, who is absolutely
Mm.
dominating in Korea now. Good job, Kevin.
Mm.
But so I'm a little bit on the fence there. I would, but now if they're splitting it up and they're making off statistical points because you have a statistical point MVP for the foreign student athlete and a statistical MVP for the for the local athlete, I'm pretty much okay with that, I suppose, because of the statistical points. But
Yes.
in a world where there is voting, I wouldn't be cool with that. Like I think that there should be. I still kind of like the whole idea na may MVP ka talaga na binoboto because there's an impact beyond the statistical points eh.
Or it could be a
So,
50-50.
yeah,
Stats and votes, diba? May safeguard ka.
yeah, exactly. So, I'm kind of there right now. I really haven't decided what where I stand on this issue, but what I do know is for as long as the statistical points is the main reason, then it will always be biased towards big men to foreign student athletes, and the onus would be on the locals, especially the local guards, to try and become a better player because of that. So yeah, on one side, it forces someone to be a better player, but on the other side, if it's just statistical points, edi split out mo na.
It it it,
Best guard, best forward ka pa nga if you want eh.
Yeah.
it's making the best of a flawed situation. In your point, Gio, diba? Giving these our local athletes, given the way MVPs are handed out. But Brian, go to the question is should foreign student athletes be treated differently from regular Filipino athletes? I think that's part of the professionalization of UAP, diba? It's the PBA
Yeah.
model may import,
Yeah,
diba?
exactly.
The import and may
Player
Filipino.
alliance. Yeah.
Um, then now we have the rules instituted for voting to remove bias or favoritism, but it was really I don't want to go back to history why that rule was instituted. There are question marks there, but what do you think? You think this is the right direction for the UAP?
Parang to me at least to have that designation for FSAs, I would say at least medyo unnecessary siya. Kasi parang the past two ano 'di ba MVP awards nga won by Kevin. And then si Remo got yung runner-up niya the season before and then si Mike this time around. So parang it shows that the locals can actually compete with the FSAs and wala naman na yung na-alleviate doon yung worry na the need to have a separate award to make sure that the MVP belongs to a local homegrown player or of diba, parang of that caliber. So parang when we say the MVP, it's the best player regardless of where he came from. Eh. We don't see NBA having an MVP for Americans and then best European athlete or best South American, wherever, ganyan. Best foreign player. Walang ganun. Eh. Otherwise, parang sure ka LeBron lagi MVP tapos Jokic or
Mm.
Giannis or Embiid will win the foreign MVP award or something like that. Glad it's not the case in the NBA. So parang ganun nakikita ko sa UAP. But the good point din naman yung bananggit ni Gio na it's because based on stats. Kaya siguro may foundation siya. But then yun, it can also merit a revisiting doon sa criteria. Kasi for example, unfair nga eh na yung impact ng center and then yung impact ng guard are measured in the same breath. Parang
Mm-hmm.
but merong qualifier then like yun nga can be done through votes or can be done through a panel na let's say coaches or players, diba? Plenty of ways to go about it if they really want to be more serious.
do you have under the current rules, but do you have to be the final four to win the MVP or no?
No,
Because
no.
hypothetically, so stats wise, you can have an MVP from the eighth place team in the league. Eh.
Yeah, pero the problem yata there is that there's a win share as part of the statistical count.
So they can win the
So,
competitions.
yeah, so
handicap
you're
siya
more
in favor,
likely,
no?
you're more likely to win an MVP the more games you win. Sorry, when Brian was talking, I just had this crazy idea. What if you have a best local, a best foreign student athlete, and then and then a ano, and then singit ka pa ng isa pa ng best American film or something. Tapos
Yeah.
yung tatlo yun yung ano, iboto nyo for MVP.
Now, I just realized now when you were saying that, Gio, foreign student athletes are common in basketball. They're starting to trigger into volleyball. They're there in football. So if we're giving out is an award being given out, is there a mandatory minimum requirement of number of foreign student athletes for that award to be given out? Because you have one foreign student athlete in tennis, for example, he gets the award automatically by default.
Oo. Tama, you're right. You're right. And parang sa chess, wala namang foreign student athlete sa chess, di ba?
At least for now.
So it's case to case. At least for now. If we start on the Russians, diba? Asylum kayo dito. Sige.
Hindi nga sa chess natin lumilipat na ibang bansa eh.
But
Foreign.
I think it goes back, and that's another issue. I think it goes back to how rules are made with basketball in mind. Diba? Where all 8 teams have a foreign student athlete. Maybe I'm missing something in their announcement. I missed something in the rules that given out, but it comes to feel that way. It goes back to some being a basketball centric league. Rules are catered towards the basketball landscape. Brian, any final thoughts on you for this one? From you on this one?
Yeah, it's sabihin ko lang sana sa'yo na it's not parang you don't have to feel sorry if you missed something kasi mahirap talaga interpret yung ruling ng league. But yeah, maybe
I'm not even sure if it starts this semester or
kasi may
the new
foreign
season.
student athletes sa volleyball, di ba?
Correct.
Then, it can launch something similar sa baseball or sa softball since ang daming pwedeng kunin sa Japan, sa Korea, or sa Taiwan.
Yeah, and kinda, which is fine, but imagine mo, kung isa lang siya na automatically yung best foreign student athlete by default, di ba?
Baka kailangan lang niya maglaro ng minimum number of games and then na-meet niya.
Games.
Even that, we're not sure. So parang tama na, it's really rooted in basketball. So I guess dito lalabas na maybe other sports, they can have different sets then to different kinds of ruling. Magkaroon na talaga ng specific rules for specific sports na if it applies to basketball, it doesn't have to apply in other sports. For example, sa football, the twice to beat situation doesn't exist, diba? So anymore, gladly. Kaya parang if we can have that at least, specify it na basketball to. Okay, maybe that's the way moving forward and not across the league.
Yep. So that was our Derek Chuhan Blue Fire hot thing. What are your thoughts, guys? Should the FSAs have a separate award? What do you think the Lady Spikers need to do to improve and bounce back against Adamson and UST in the coming week? Let us know in the comments below. Also, want to call out the men's volleyball team also dropped straight sets loss to NU earlier today, so that was a tough loss as well. So hopefully they can bounce back, make the Final Four and under Final Four charge. Hopefully they can finally break into the finals this year.
Yeah.
Finals, diba? That's the goal. So, guys, thank you for listening. Again, thank you for listening to the Cover Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, listen to us on Spotify, and have a chance to win a watch from Ibarra, Manila. Okay? So, guys, tough opening loss. Something we've expected. But we're hopeful that we have a exciting twists and turns in the season ahead. Hopefully in the right direction for us. All right. So, guys, we'll see you next week for a recap of DLH versus Adamson, leading up to the big game against UST. So, we have Gio, Brian. Keep the faith, guys. It's still early.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's early. We're not panicking yet. Maybe next week. Not kidding. No.
Let's see.
Let's see. All right, guys. And as we always say,
Animo.
Animo,
animal sa
Lasal.
Lasal.